Yeah, right.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the session of LitFestx. We have with us author Aastha Atray Banan. She is India's second Mills and Boons writer with her book His Monsoon Bride. Her second book with Rupa Publication called Games Girls Play was released about 9 months ago and is doing really well. Um, Astha, welcome to the show. Welcome to LitFestx. And, I'm always curious, with authors such as yourselves, how did you get into writing on love and romance and relationships?
Well, I've always been a romantic person. Romantic, by romantic, I mean naive. So as I was growing up, all my friends were like, you put your heart out there too much. But I never really thought I'll write romance. I never read Mills and Boons growing up. I was the Enid Blyton, John Grisham variety who grew up reading all that. So I didn't think I would write romance. And I became a journalist. And then it was actually when I was working with Tehelka that where I was a serious journalist. I'd actually you were doing serious news features and things like that. So romance never even came into the picture. But one day after a bad day at work, I came home and I saw the Mills and Boons contest entry. It was a contest for short stories, and I said, chuck this life and let's try and write a romance and let's go all out there. And I think my short story had a chocolate fountain in it. So you can imagine how romantic it was. And yeah, so that won, and I think it sort of, it gave me what I was supposed to do. And so yeah, so then I started writing romance.
So,
but I am very naive and romantic in real life. Yeah.
So are you then saying that to write good romance, you need to be romantic?
I think so, yes. If you don't believe in it, how are you going to make it real for other people, So, I mean, I see kids all around me. I see, I talk to kids every day. Like, kids, I mean, 18, 25, whatever. And nobody wants to be in a relationship. Nobody wants to get married. Everybody's like, it's not real. And I'm just like, why? What happened to you to think like this, So, yeah, I think you need to believe in it to make it more real when you write about it.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the recent book, Games Girls Play. The plot, the characters. What are you doing?
Yeah, Games Girls Play is in a way my ode to Sex in the City. I love that show. So it was about two girls, and it's also, I mean, taken from few friendships of mine in a way. I mean, it's about two girls who are very different. So the working title was The Prude and the Promiscuous. So one is really prudish and one is very promiscuous. And how basically it's about friendship as well, because women also judge women all the time, and I think we are the ones who call each other sluts more than men call you sluts. So, it was a book about how they both have preconceived notions about each other. So one thinks that the other one's too tight, too uptight, and the other one thinks that the other is a slut. So how they get over their judgments towards each other and how they sort of take on each other's roles also. So you can be anything. The book is about, you can be a slut when you want to, and you can be a prude when you want to. And in the process of that, they also find love. Like, they meet men in Bombay and they're dating, and they find men actually who are opposites of themselves as well. So it was about friendship also. Yeah.
Interesting. Tell me a little about the fact that although you mentioned you hadn't read Mills and Boons before you wrote the second Mills and Boons in India. You haven't really been into sort of the fluffy, romantic, relationship-based novel. It's been more the serious stuff in your own reading and even at work.
Yeah.
Do you find it then a challenge to create these characters and the plots and get that emotion through, or is it still just coming to you easily because of your inherent nature?
Yes, I think because I do read. I mean, it's not like I read only serious stuff. I do. I mean, my favorite author is Murakami, who's a romantic author according to me. He writes romance, very dysfunctional romance, but still it is romance. And yeah, I think it's about who I am as a person. I am very, very hopeful, positive about things like love. I believe in all the grand gestures, and I believe that you, when you fall in love with a person, you give in completely. So I believe in all those things. So, and I am like that in real life, be it friendships or be it love. In love relationships, I've always been like that. So once I'm in, and I give all that I have. So. Yeah, so then it was not really hard at all because I was writing about versions of me in a way. Yeah.
Interesting. One could argue technically that we are living in very complex and uncertain times, and which necessitates
Yes.
that the general reader, the general public, is reading, discussing, debating sort of issues of ground importance, if you will, whether it is
Yeah.
society, politics, economy, business, whatever it is, health, fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think that the emphasis on love stories has either reduced, or we need to bring more of it? People should be spending more time on this content, these stories, whether whether digitally or whether in books. I mean, what do you think is the sort of ground case for love stories?
I think that's exactly why we need love stories. You know, we're so caught up in the world that we live in now, where all these things are happening, and yes, we should talk about all those things, because if we don't talk about the serious stuff, nothing's ever going to change, be it politics or economies. But that's exactly why we need love stories, to keep that innocent, naive nature of ours alive, and to be not cynical people, because being cynical is not going to help you overcome anything. You need hope. And I think love stories give you that hope. And it's also being light about life. I mean, if you're only going to talk about serious things, life is going to be very hard. So why not, like, if you read 3 books which are very serious and really make you think about life as we live it today, read 2 books which sort of like help you escape reality and maybe make you a happier person, and also makes you a lighter person, which is good in any case. A happier person is the one who'll do more for society in any case. So I think yes, we need more and more love stories, for sure.
In terms of there's a lot of I hate to use the word on this session, but there's a lot of sexual crime and betrayal happening all around.
Yeah.
And do you think that love stories and romantic novels and books need to be positioned carefully to ensure that young impressionable minds don't really start absolutely believing or absolutely imbibing some of that content and material? I mean, I'm not saying that we should all be cynics, but
Yeah.
on the other hand also, a lot of the readers of, let's say, Mills and Boons, I'm told, I mean, I haven't read it, but I'm told that they are young girls
Yeah.
largely, and a few young boys, let's say. So
Yeah.
that is it's at an age where you're discovering about relationships, you're discovering about the opposite sex, you're discovering what it is like to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And if you're reading some of these stories, one could get carried away. So do you think something can be done, or something ought to be done, to ensure that whilst these stories are there, they're also done with a certain amount of responsibility?
Especially talking about Mills and Boons, like when I wrote it, I was asked this question a lot of times, saying most Mills and Boons heroines are regressive. and they are, they are in awe of the man that they are with, and it's all about playing the damsel in distress. And I see, since I have not read the older ones, too many of them, I don't know. But the new ones, the heroines are really, really smart and really in control of their lives. They might love the man that they love completely, but their lives are about themselves, their careers, and how they're going to make the most of that and make the most of everything and balance everything. So the modern Mills and Boons heroine is actually one you should aim to be, if anything. Like in the world of Twilight, where the lead of that book is completely in awe of the man and can't believe it that he loves her and she would do anything for him. I think Mills and Boone sets a much better example, because the most Mills and Boone's heroines are all ambitious, doing very well, very rich, very successful, and they find a man who they fall in love with completely, but they sort of get the man so it's sort of like they create a balance in their life. So I totally agree with that your heroine should not be like Bella in Twilight, which sets a bad example, but according to me. But as far as, and also another question I was asked was that why do you have sex in your books? And it does that, like, for an Indian audience, why is there sex in a Mills and Boons? And I remember saying that we live in India, where, I mean, we have a big population, so people are having sex. So it is okay to read about sex, because I think the more you're open about these things, the more it's okay. If we hide these things, then the youth is more curious about finding out, and then bad things happen. So I think it's okay to talk about it or write about it and put it out there in a way so that it gets less taboo and less controversial. So yeah, I think all romance authors just need to do is that when they write a romance, the man and the woman should be equal. That's a best way of creating a good romance, when both of them are equals. Nobody loves the other more, unless it's a really dysfunctional Murakami novel, then it's different. But yeah, I think that's the only way we can create a good example. But also, at the end of the day, I would say fiction it's art. It doesn't really need to have a social responsibility in a way, especially fiction. So I mean, it depends on the writer at the end of the day of how much you want to push it.
Right. What's been your experience with sort of writing around romance and love and relationships on the digital platforms or social media side? Are you experimenting with that?
See, I have got into the habit in the last 6 months of writing small Instagram posts. I put them up every day, which are mostly about unrequited love and things like that. Any thoughts about love that come into my head. And I've had a great response to that, because I've realized everybody feels the same things, be it loneliness or be it pining for someone who doesn't want you. And I've had a great response. People actually come to Instagram and ask me, why haven't you written today? Where is the post for today? And I woke up and I saw your post, and that's exactly how I feel. And I had done a love letter series which did very well. I did one love letter for every day of the week. So one was a sad love letter, a happy love letter, a sexy love letter. People actually asked me to write love letters for them after that. They mailed me and said, can you write a love letter for us, for our girlfriends and our boyfriends? So that worked very well. Yeah, and I'm also writing a blog book, as in I've started like a blog on which I'm writing a chapter a week. I'm trying to. So I've done 4 chapters, and let's see what happens. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me, what we've realized with LitFestx is that a lot of our readers are now getting to, if I can say, get inside the living room and the working environment of their favorite authors.
Yes.
And right now on the screen, on the feed, I'm seeing a really nice and busy bookshelf behind you.
Yes.
Do you want to give your fans and viewers a peek into your bookshelf, peek into your workspace as well, if you're fine with
Can you
that.
see that? Can you see my bookshelf now?
Yes.
So there's a lot of Murakami, of course, and there's a lot of nonfiction as well, and that's my father. Yeah, this is like I've had to give books away because in Bombay there is no space for books, so I've actually given them to an online library, and I have books everywhere. So I'm actually thinking of now investing in a Kindle because there's no other way. Otherwise, I'll have to I don't know where to keep them.
Very good. Very nice.
Yeah.
We've got some time now. We are seeing some questions coming in from the online viewers.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a steady stream, so maybe we can take a few of them.
Sure.
I'm going to read the question out to you, and then you can sort of respond to it. So this is an interesting one by Vicky. He says, do we really need more love stories, or do we need stories focusing on the value of love in life? And he says, most stories lack character.
Yes, I think we do need to talk about the value of love in life, because I truly feel that only if you're loved well, that you can be a completely happy or well-rounded person, be it by your parents, be it by your siblings, be it by your friends. So yes, I think the only way of instilling value of love is show that the people that you love every day, that you love them. I mean, my love stories are about that, and I believe in that. So yeah, I think we need more love stories and more love stories about that help you show people that you love them,
Right.
Yeah.
But tell me, do you think then that, just alluding to his
Yeah.
question a little more, where
Yeah.
he's talking about, the quality of the story,
Yeah.
where it needs to focus more on the value of love in one's life. So
Yeah.
are you seeing that kind of content really finding its way into popular books, or?
Yeah. Yeah, I have read some books in the past 1 year that have something like that. I don't know if you've heard of this author called David Nichols, who wrote a book called One Day, and then he wrote a book called Us, which is basically about a married couple who are going on a vacation across Europe with their son. And just before they leave, the wife tells him that she wants a divorce. And he's like, we're going on a vacation, and you've told me just before we are leaving that when we come back, you're not going to be happy. But it sort of makes his life as they travel across Europe, and it makes him look into his relationship with his son and his wife, and how he's treated his wife in the last few years, and why she seems to be moving on. And when he comes back, how they build their lives again is a great example of showing value of the value of love in your life, because I think we all just go about our day ignoring the people that we love, and only when we are threatened to lose them, that's when we really take action. So yeah, books like that actually make you think. Like, I did think about my life and who are the people I love after I read that book, and if I wanted to wait for so long for someone to turn around and say, I don't love you anymore, because I didn't show them that I love them. So yes, I think books like that do exist. So yeah, we should write more of those. Yeah.
The next question says, what interesting love stories have you found in life?
Okay. I've been married for 10 years, so I haven't found any love stories recently. But I've seen many people around me who are in love, and I've seen people change because of love. Like, they've not believed in love till they've got it, and they've been insecure about who they are. But once they find a person who loves them exactly for who they are. They become much better people and much, more confident people, because here is someone who says you're awesome every day of your life. So I think those are the best kind of love stories for me, where people realize their worth thanks to someone else and then become the people that they are really meant to become. So that's the best kind of love. Yeah, I've seen many of those.
So essentially, what you're saying, that some of your favorite love stories are the ones where love takes the form of unconditional appreciation.
Yes, yes, yes. Because most of us are insecure about ourselves, and I meet so many people who are on dating websites and marriage websites, and they're not sure of, I mean, I was just telling someone the other day that if I was on a marriage website, nobody would marry me. I'm 5 feet tall, I'm dusky. Who would be marrying a 5 feet, because height is a big consideration. And then I'm just like, I've never got married on that website. So we're all insecure about ourselves, and if we find someone who makes us feel that we're just fine the way we are, I think we become better people, because we then just be ourselves, and that's awesome. I mean, we should find such people to love. Yeah. So
The next question is, what's the one love story you want to change the ending of?
okay, that's hard.
I'm assuming it doesn't need to be one from life. It could be one of these
Yeah,
stories you've read or one of the books you've read.
yeah. Maybe the classic love story, Eric Segal. I mean, why does she die? It's really sad. I hate books where people die. Like John Green writes those all the time, but I don't understand those. So yes, any love story where one of the people dies is not good for me. So yeah, either love
So,
story or yeah.
so so then you're looking at love stories where you find proper closure and a
Yes,
happy closure.
yes.
Right.
I'm completely a Bollywood girl. I like love stories with happy endings.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. You know, coming for the last few minutes, just back to our topic when we are saying why the world needs love stories. Have you also then seen that as a fallout of people reading such novels, or romance novels or love stories, are you seeing your readers or fans coming back to you with a certain kind of feedback, a certain kind of comments, etc.? Or
Um, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I meant when I was talking about my Instagram post. Like, I've realized that everyone at the end of the day wants to be loved and to love. How much ever you say, I don't need a boyfriend, or I don't need a girlfriend, and I don't want to be in love, and it sucks, and it hurts so much. But at the end of the day, we all want love, and I feel that we should not close ourselves to the possibility of finding love by becoming so cynical. And that's why love stories should exist, to tell us that it's okay that when you meet someone you like, to be open and willing and out there, even if it gets you called a slut or gets you called a Casanova. I mean, really, I want to just tell people that if you love somebody, tell them. It's as simple as that. And I've realized everybody wants to do it. It's just some kind of defense mechanism of saving themselves the pain, and that's why they don't go out and get love. But they'll regret it eventually. And everybody who I speak to eventually tell me that, okay, when I read your things on Instagram and stuff like that, I want to believe in love. So that's great. I mean, as long as you want to believe, that's I've done my job. So yeah.
and what is the next project? What are you currently working on?
I am doing a non-fiction book which I can't talk about, but it's about fashion, and it should be out next year, beginning of next year with Rupa. And I keep writing my blog book, which is called "The Boy Who Took Me to the Moon." It's on WordPress.com. So if somebody wants to read that, and yeah, So those are the two things I'm doing right now, and obviously I'll start another book after I finish the nonfiction. So yeah, that's what.
Lovely. Lovely. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us,
Thanks
Aastha.
so much for having me. Yeah.
And if you have a message for LitFestx, we'd be happy to get one from you.
I think it's a great thing because everybody is online, and this is the only way we can. This is the best way to reach out to people who read us, and people who are uh, who are out there right now. And I mean, I think it's the best way when you're in office or you're traveling. Online is the best. Nobody is like, nobody wants to attend these things. I think I saw Raghu's Facebook status where he said that you don't want to be. It's good to be in a lit fest where you don't have to wear pants. So I think, yeah, that's a great thing. So yeah, it's the easiest way to get out to people, and I hope you keep having these.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we wish your current book and the future ones all the success. And may you keep spreading the need for love and, let people realize the importance of love in their lives.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Bye. Thanks for having me.
Bye bye.